Subscribe now. EU debates.
No, the President does not have such plans, and I believe that on your first question, but I'll give the floor to Peter. Peter has repeatedly stressed that in order to be involved, you have to be asked to be involved in mediating between conflict partners. But Peter, perhaps you want to add something to this.
Indeed, I mean, I can only rephrase what Eric has said. So it was not, David, it was not the decision of the European Commission or European Union not to be part of this deal. The issue is issue caused by illegal, illegitimate aggression by Russia. Russia decided to launch this inhuman, murderous war against Ukrainian people. Part of this war is blocking the Ukrainian ports. In order to solve this particular problem, unblocking the ports, you need Russia to play along. And as you have seen throughout this crisis, right from the start and even before, Russia was turning cold shoulder to all the efforts by the EU to attempt a dialogue to solve issue behind negotiating table, as it's the appropriate way to solve problems in 21st century in civilized world. But Russia decided to go for confrontation, and of course Russia does not accept involvement of the EU in any of the ongoing issues that are being discussed, be it ceasefire, be it unblocking of the ports. Plus, unblocking of the Ukrainian ports is not only an issue between EU and Russia, if you would put it in this way. This is a global issue because these illegal actions by Russia against Ukraine are causing hardship, even famine or risk of famine in a number of most vulnerable countries in Africa, in Middle East, in Asia, in countries which have nothing to do with problems between Ukraine and Russia. So while the EU was willing to do its part and to play the peace aspect of its engagement, Russia was the one turning to the war instruments and keeps doing so. So that's why we can only support the efforts of the UN, because UN is the platform created to deal with problems between the countries. So this is all I can say on the involvement of the EU, and we keep devising also alternative instruments. Maybe my colleagues can elaborate more on the solidarity lanes, how we are trying to alleviate this situation and help Ukraine to export the grain and wheat through alternative ways. We can talk about the financial aid and other aid we are giving to countries affected by these illegitimate actions by the Kremlin. But the EU was the one extending the olive branch, if you want. But Russia was the one replying with fire and artillery fire to these efforts by the EU.
Indeed, thank you, Peter, for mentioning these 2 points, these various points. Solidarity lanes on the one hand, so we have been doing everything in our power in order to provide alternative routes for the export of Ukrainian grain and agricultural products, despite Russia's actions. Secondly, support to our partners across the world. And thirdly, let me remind you that we have always been extremely attentive in order to ensure that our sanctions, the sanctions that we have applied against Russia, explicitly derogate when it comes to agri-food exports, or provide for derogations when it comes to agri-food exports from Russia. So we have been doing everything we can unilaterally in order to address the consequences of the Russian aggression against Ukraine in this area.